So yes, it's time to get ready for Diablo 4 Early Access Beta. If you've been looking to give the game a try, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know before playing it in the 2 upcoming trials this month. I'm also doing a giveaway for a Deluxe edition, so stick around until the end of the video to find out how you can enter. But there's 2 playtest weekends in which you can try out Diablo 4, with the first one starting this Friday, March 17 at 9 AM PDT and ending on Monday, March 20th at 12 PM PDT. This one is invite-only early access, so you'll need to either pre-purchase the game or get a beta invite code that we'll talk about in just a little bit. The second one is the open beta, however, and this one drops a week later, beginning March 24th and concluding on March 27th at the exact same hours. This is open for everybody and does not require pre-ordering the game, so you can freely take part in it right away. Good to note is that for PC players who pre-purchase Diablo 4 digitally, you don't actually have to do anything, as your account will automatically get flagged for early access right away. Meanwhile, console users, you'll be emailed a platform-specific code that you can then use to download the beta closer to the start of the early access. However, you don't even actually need to buy the whole game to get the early access on March 17, as there are various campaigns that run with codes right now. For example, you can buy a double down from any KFC inside of the US for just a few dollars and get a beta code with it. Funny enough, that can be done from outside of the US too, using a VPN, as confirmed by Connor Odin on Reddit, who did it from Australia using a free VPN and a Google Chrome with his credit card details attached. So totally do that, see if it works for you, and if it doesn't, then don't worry, I'll be doing giveaways for random channel subscribers with these codes, so just make sure you're sub to the channel and leave a comment down below if you want one. Now, in terms of what you get access to, there are a few key differences you should know about the 2 beta weekends. In both of them, you get to play through the prologue and the entirety of Act 1. This will let you play through the first zone only, the Fractured Peaks, but that's a sizable enough and reasonably filled map with content I can confirm from my last closed beta session in December. This also includes several towns that act as main hubs, with the biggest of course being that of Kiovashad. You'll likely spend a lot of time here, as it lets you access all the vendors and gear upgrades that you will need, such as the blacksmith to upgrade gear, occultist for the aspect enchantments, selling and buying gear, player storage, and much more. The max level cap of course will be just level 25, but the game does let you continue playing even after reaching it to finish up all the dungeons, open world events, side missions, and other online co-op events should you choose to. The difference, however, is that during the first early access weekend on March 17, we only get to play with 3 of the 5 classes. So this includes Barbarian, Rogue, and Sorcerer. But once the open beta drops in the second weekend, we'll also get the Druid and Necromancer to test out as well. You will, however, have 10 character slots to test out and play with each of these classes, which should provide some solid impressions about what Diablo 4 is like. And yes, for those wondering, progress will transfer from the early access first weekend to the second open beta weekend, but not to the full game, just like the previous betas that will be reset and will have to start from scratch on launch day. You will, however, get something out of it still, which is the beta Wolfpack cosmetic item that you will get by simply reaching level 20 with just 1 character, as well as a couple of titles in there as well. But I got the chance to play with these classes previously, and to me, Sorcerer and Rogue definitely felt much stronger than some of the other options and could reach higher levels and much stronger builds much earlier than pretty much everything else. I especially enjoyed the Rogue class, which had a super strong combo between Flurry and Shadow Imbuement via the 5th node from quite early on, so much so that by level 25 I could create a build that double spammed a Shadow Imbued Flurry, causing enemies to get debuffed and explode, wiping entire groups in just 1 second, and many times even bosses in just a few hits. But you could achieve something like this with a ranged build too, which uses a similar version but with the Heartseeker and the Shadow Imbuement. Of course, we're gonna talk about more about these classes as we get closer and closer to the beta weekends. Now, as I've said, I've already played through this content during my play sessions last year, and overall I got a really positive vibe from my almost 50 hours of total game time in Diablo 4 between all the classes, mainly because I felt well rewarded from almost everything that I did. And it wasn't hard to get a full set of legendary gear, for example, on all classes, with some extra farming as early as level 20. Of course, the beta lets you play until level 25, but even once you hit that cap, you can still continue playing to unlock the entire map, its dungeons, and many of the side quests. I really appreciated the boss fight design too, which somehow felt more engaging as it was compared to, for example, the previous game. Of course, still early to tell if this is going to maintain itself at max level 2, but early on it required a lot of positioning, avoiding big hits, and navigating large arena damage zones. You almost never want to stay for too long in just one place, otherwise the game heavily punishes you for that. But by far the biggest factor contributing to that was the new Codex of Power, which rewards exploration in a very smart way, essentially by giving you access to special power enchants for all classes upon beating specific dungeons for the first time. Once you do get them, you can place them on any gear at any occultist, and this will not just turn the lower grade items into like legendaries as a result, but they also provide some powerful effects for each classes individually. There are dozens of aspects for each class that you'll unlock permanently in this codex, which can heavily alter your playstyle with the class, buff certain mechanics, or provide powerful effects to better deal with the enemies ahead. Another thing to note is the fact that Diablo 4 also offers aspects outside of the codex system that you'll need to extract from gear and transfer onto your own set. So some of this can also be lost, for example, if you were to override those aspects or sell the item without extracting it. Like for example, early on I got a shield that prevents damage every few seconds, which was very busted during the previous beta, so I'm not sure if this is going to be maintained during these weekends too. In the meantime, there's also the discussion about which version can provide the best value for the money that you spend, and so far it seems that Digital Deluxe Edition is the winner, albeit being $10 more expensive. For example, compared to the Standard Edition, that one only provides the Lightbearer mount for Diablo 4. Every other bonus is for other games basically, such as Inarius Wings and Murloc Pet, which is only for Diablo 3, the Amalgam of Rage mount in World of Warcraft, or the Umber Wing Darkness set for Diablo Immortal, all of which you probably won't care if you don't happen to play any of these games. However, Digital Deluxe Edition has a few advantages for just $10 extra, so on top of everything that the Standard Edition gives, the biggest advantage here is the Premium Season Battle Pass, which already costs $10 by default should you choose to buy it separately, but it also gives you all of the cool cosmetics, the levels and whatnot, and also a couple of extra things on top. This includes 4 days early access ahead of Diablo 4's launch on June 6th, as well as a second Temptation mount and the Hellborn mount armor for it. Full disclaimer, I think the Ultimate Edition is not worth it, despite the fact that this was the one I ended up buying. It only gives you the Wings of Creator emote and 20 tier skips for the Battle Pass, which are the only things on top of the ones included in the Digital Deluxe Edition. So for the extra money that it costs, you might as well just save it for future battle passes, since each season in Diablo 4 will feature different battle passes associated with them with different challenges, cosmetics, and rewards on the way. And as I've said, you can also be the lucky winner of a Digital Deluxe Edition of Diablo 4 to get early access to the game, Battle Pass, and the cool cosmetics by simply being subscribed to the channel, leaving a like on this video, and commenting down below if you do want to enter. As always, I will announce the winners in a future video as well as a community post, so be sure to stay tuned for that. In the meantime, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in game really soon.